It's not completely done, but it's definitely the first step of closure.
Tonight at 5, hear reaction from the family of Brooke Stratton after the man suspected of killing her changed his plea this morning in court.
Plus, buses will not be operating as usual on New Year's Day. We'll tell you about the changes Madison Metro riders should expect.
And later, lessons learned, how one local musician's medical emergency at a Madison business ended up saving the life of another.
You're watching News 3 now at 5. Hello, everybody. Thanks for staying with us at 5, and welcome back.
Welcome back after a week away.
Great to have you back.
And there's just a few days left in 2025, and there are still some chances out there for light snow.
Meteorologist Blaze Keller is here now with the details. Blaze?
Eric returns and it gets cold. Interesting.
I was in Hawaii, don't blame me.
All I'm going to say is that's just very interesting. The winds are still pretty strong out there as we're looking at Lake Mendota, maybe a whitecap or two. It's 15 degrees. It's now feeling like just a degree below zero in the Madison area. Sun is still setting as the days are continuing to get just a little bit longer. But just outside of Dane County, I'll pause radar 3000. That's where we find still a little bit of some blowing snow stretching from about Beaver Dam all the way south into northern Illinois. Beloit, Janesville, Fort Atkinson, really all of Jefferson County, eastern parts of Dane County dealing with a little bit of that snow as well. I want to loop it because we may also be getting a little bit of what we call power plant snow coming out of the power plant there up in Portage, kind of mixing in with some of that falling or at the very least blowing snow. We have a whole write-up about how that power plant creates the snow in our Beyond the Barometer. Now, Future Track is going to keep us quiet through the rest of this evening once the snow wraps on up. Clouds move in as we go into tomorrow, and that brings another round of snow. This is going to be on the lighter side, though, and we'll squeeze out a few more snowflakes for Wednesday, but it wraps up as we ring in 2026. Details on your New Year's Eve celebration in the full forecast.
All right, Blaze, thank you. The man charged with killing a 24-year-old McFarland woman last fall is pleading guilty.
Today, 26-year-old James Barnes Morris entered that plea to one count of first-degree reckless homicide with domestic abuse. The court accepted that plea.
The charges stem from Brooke Stratton's death last fall. She was last seen on September 30th with Barnes Morris.
And days later, on October 3rd, Madison police found her body in a pond at the UW-Madison Arboretum.
In January of this year, police referred a charge of first-degree intentional homicide to the Dane County District Attorney.
And then in March, the DA officially charged Barnes Morris. He pleaded not guilty at the time. The case then headed for trial coming up next month, but that charge dismissed this morning when Barnes Morris pleaded guilty to that less severe reckless homicide charge.
And hours after that new plea was entered, News 3 Now's Tanasia Shaw spoke with Stratton's family, and she joins us now with their reaction. Tanasia?
Hi, Eric and Susan. Yes, I spoke to Brooke Stratton's dad. His name is Kevin Stratton, and he told me that he was numb after hearing that his daughter's ex-boyfriend pleaded guilty. For more than a year now, the Stratton family has continued to mourn the loss of Brooke. After the hearing today, Kevin admitted that the results did relieve him, and he's glad that his family does not have to relive this again through a trial. He remembers Brooke as caring and empathetic.
I'm still at a point of sadness. I hope to get to a point of happiness remembering them, but right now it's still a little hard.
The Stratton family also told me that they are constantly looking for silver linings. One silver lining for them right now has been giving back to nonprofits like the National Alliance on Mental Health and the Domestic Abuse Intervention Services.
All right, Tanasia, thank you. And if you or someone you know is experiencing domestic abuse, there are resources available. This is the helpline for Domestic Abuse Intervention Services. You can call any hour of the day or text the number at the bottom of your screen if you don't feel comfortable calling. Those numbers also available at this story linked at channel3000.com. A sentencing date has yet to be set for Barnes Morris. As soon as we have that information, you will too. Receive updates directly to your phone with our free Channel 3000 mobile app.
Madison police are investigating a hit and run that happened over the weekend. Officers responded to the area of Regent Street and West Washington at about 2:35 Saturday morning. Someone walking in the area called them to report a man lying in the road. The victim, a 38-year-old man, was taken to the hospital. He is expected to survive. Police have not arrested anyone yet. Anyone with information can submit a tip online at p3tips.com.
Looking ahead to New Year's Day, bus riders should prepare for reduced availability. Buses will operate Sunday schedules on Thursday the 1st. On New Year's Eve, there will not be extended service. As for other city services, if your trash is usually picked up on Wednesdays, you should have your carts out the day before by 6:30 in the morning. People whose trash typically gets collected on Thursday should have their carts out by 6:30 on Friday morning.
Well, the Packers are getting ready to kick off their regular season finale Sunday at noon against the Minnesota Vikings.
That's right, but with that playoff 7 seed locked in and so many guys hurt, how should Coach Matt LaFleur handle this rivalry game? Our Packers senior writer Jason Wilde with more from Lambeau Field.
This is Matt LaFleur's 7th year as the Packers head coach, and this is the 6th time that the Packers have made the postseason under him. What's interesting is that a lot of those 6 times, including this year, the Packers have been largely locked into their playoff position. This year, they're locked in as the number 7 seed. So no matter what they do against the Minnesota Vikings in their regular season finale, their playoff positioning will remain the same. That leaves Matt LaFleur with a decision to make. Does he play his guys on a 3-game losing streak to get right against the Vikings? Or does he rest them and keep them safe from injury? Last year, in a regular season finale here at Lambeau Field against the Bears, Christian Watson tore his ACL. Not only was he lost for the rest of the year, he didn't come back until late October this season. So there is risk in a game that doesn't really help them other than how they may feel about how they're playing. That's what Matt LaFleur will be weighing along with his coaches throughout the week.
Certainly, it was a tough lesson a year ago in regards to what we lost going into the wild card round. But yeah, absolutely, you lean into those, and then kind of the state of the team as well. So I think there's a lot of variables that get thrown into play. I know a lot of people have difference of opinions on what is the best route, and ultimately we got to make what the best decision is for us.
We'll see what Matt LaFleur decides. The Packers do need to get going in a positive direction after 3 consecutive losses, and he did acknowledge that that is part of his thought process. We'll have full coverage regardless leading into the game and of the game itself from Minneapolis on our website, channel3000.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for the Packers newsletter, which delivers that coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay at Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
I don't like that hat that guy had on. Thanks, Jason. Programming reminder, this one will air right here on CBS Noon Kickoff, Channel 3, Sunday from U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities, the Vikings and the Packers.
More local news now. It's been just over a year since local musician Rocker woke up in a hospital after legally dying on stage. Rocker had a heart attack while performing on the stage of a downtown Madison bar, the Gamma Ray. Bystanders gave him CPR, but it was the work of an AED defibrillator the Madison Fire Department used that restarted his heart. And because of the incident, the Gamma Ray installed AEDs in their bar. That ended up saving another local musician's life after he went into sudden cardiac arrest on the same stage at Gamma Ray a month ago.
You don't know you're not prepared for an emergency until you're not prepared for an emergency. Because if he wouldn't have went through the episode, I probably wouldn't have got through my episode.
Franklin is still recovering, but he's getting back to what he loves. He'll be at the Wisconsin Hip Hop Festival in January.
Still ahead at 5, Blaze joins us again with a forecast how long you could expect this cold weather to stick around.
Plus, it was a year jam-packed with big stories in sports. News 3 Now's sports director Andrew Banstra shows us some of the highlights of 2025.
And later, the president hosting leaders for diplomatic talks this week, what message he had for Iran about its nuclear program and whether there's hope of salvaging the U.S.-backed plan for Israel and Gaza.
Before we head to break, Wall Street ended the day in the red. The Dow lost 249 points. The Nasdaq fell 119, and the S&P 500 dropped 24. Stay with us. News 3 Now at 5. We'll be right back.
Watching News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with us. Our First Warn Weather Team's been tracking these weather conditions the last couple of days of 2025, and it does include some chances of snow.
I thought of you today coming back from Hawaii.
Yes, I was forced to go to Hawaii for a football game. I didn't want to go.
Ouch.
I much would have preferred being here in this beautiful weather we had overnight, Blaze. That was wonderful to come home to.
Yeah, those strong winds, the cold temperatures, I mean, it's a toss-up. That or going to Hawaii. I don't know. It's a really tough decision. But that cyclone has moved off to the east. We'll talk about it here in just a moment. After it, we're going to be dealing with 2 weak low-pressure systems, Clipper systems, living up to their name, moving very quickly through the Midwest, bringing us some light, dusty snow, not only Tuesday, but into Wednesday as well. And those snowflakes do look to wrap up by the time we celebrate the end of 2025 and go into 2026. Tuesday, we are looking at mostly cloudy conditions, a better chance for that snow further north and east. Parts of Crawford, Grant, and maybe even southwestern parts of Lafayette County might not even see any snow tomorrow, but that's going to change as we go into Wednesday. So the better chance for snow tomorrow is going to be further north and east. On Wednesday, that switches to the south and west. As Clipper 1 moves on through tomorrow, not as cold, we're back into the 20s, but this low and this Clipper get absorbed into that bigger low pressure system that just moved through our neck of the woods last night. Now that second round of snow moves in on Wednesday. As I mentioned, now southwestern Wisconsin has that chance for some snow. And then we dry out as we go into your celebrations Wednesday night into Thursday. This is 1 a.m. January 1st. Clear skies, northwesterly winds, and fresh snow, not only from last night, but Tuesday and then further into Wednesday, mean it is going to be a cold, not only New Year's Eve, but cold Thursday. So January 1st as well. About an inch or two is what we're anticipating for snow over these next couple of rounds. Light, fluffy snow, so it's not really going to be heavy, obviously, and these are quick moving, so we're not going to have that long duration of snow like what we saw Thanksgiving, the weekend after that. So, you know, you may have seen this headline being tossed around about the bomb cyclone that is going on across the Northeast. I've asked the National Weather Service if it bombed out over the Midwest, because it typically doesn't happen over the Midwest. You need warm, moist air mixing in with very, very cold air, but we're landlocked, so we don't really get a lot of that warmer air. It has happened before, but I just wanted to ask if it officially bombed out over us, because it has to be a bomb cyclone, it has to drop 24 millibars in 24 hours. So those black lines that you just saw, those are surface millibars. And so the more lines we see, the stronger it is. So what a bomb cyclone is essentially a really rapidly strengthening low pressure system. Brings obviously strong winds like what we recorded last night across the Midwest here in southern Wisconsin, and sometimes heavy rain and snow. I personally like what it is sometimes referred to as bombogenesis. And again, the National Weather Service, I've asked them if it officially bombed out over us, because if not, then I guess the Northeast deals with the bomb cyclone and we just have dealt with those strong winds. With the fresh snow Tuesday and Wednesday, we're looking at 4 degrees to end 2025 and go into 2026. Northwesterly winds will still be breezy, but they'll be light on New Year's Day, turning out of the south. So keep that jacket around with you overnight and throughout the first day of the new year, because it is going to be a chilly one, but we are back into the 30s by Sunday. We'll stay in the upper 20s to low 30s through the rest of that following work week.
That will feel very nice. Blaze, thank you. We're taking a look back at all of Wisconsin's biggest sports stories from this past year.
From the NCAA tournament, playoff runs to national championships, even hosting the NFL draft in Wisconsin. Here's Sports Director Andrew Banstra.
There is no better day on the calendar year than opening day. As you mentioned, that smell of brats, popcorn, and fresh-cut grass that's met with the optimism that this could be the year. That's exactly right. They're certainly hoping this is not their last home game of what has been a magical season. But let's focus on Game 2 tonight, where the Brewers are putting their best on the mound. Freddie Peralta, their workhorse, their ace, will be getting the ball, trying to help out that Brewer defense that didn't really need much help last night. It was the bats that weren't able to get going until that final inning. William Contreras saying that getting that offense in the ninth helped them a lot. And Baldwin is the second Madison West alum ever to reach the major leagues, and it seems like he's going to stick around.
You see those awards on social media growing up, and it's something you always kind of dream to achieve one day.
But for now, the reigning National League Rookie of the Month takes it a day at a time.
I mean, I said earlier, I said Culver's hits different in Wisconsin, so I'm going to try to get out there.
Savoring the little things when in Wisconsin. The Madison Nightmares were a nightmare for the Northwoods League this year. They went 35-7 in the regular season, and tonight they had a chance to win their first title in Northwoods League franchise history. But just when everything seemed like it was over, the Nightmares had one more strike in them. Danielle Lucy gets the job done. Are you kidding me? A solo home run to tie things up in the bottom of the seventh, and the Madison Nightmares are the champions of the Northwoods Softball League for the first time in franchise history. I was absolutely struck last night when a woman walked up to me, looked at the 205,000 people that poured into this parking lot at Lambeau Field to watch the NFL draft, and sincerely said, "I can't believe this is my city." The draw of this event doesn't just prove the NFL's pull. It beholds the beauty of football in Green Bay. In a matter of weeks, it went from fire fickle to we found our guy. The last time Wisconsin football was here in Madison, Fickle won his first game against a ranked opponent as Wisconsin's head coach. This is Wisconsin football. And then the dagger, Darion Dupree in the Wildcat with his second touchdown of the game, the first Badger with an 100-yard rushing game this season. If you're playing at Camp Randall as often as Darlington football is, you're doing something right. But this year, they're looking to get over the hump. Each of their last 7 appearances in the state title game, they've fallen up short. But now they have their secret weapon. Leading 21-zip, who you gonna call? Zeke Zuberbuehler, who zips in for the score. Another touchdown, this one on the ground for Zeke. Darlington does not leave a doubt. They are state champions for the first time since 1995.
Welcome back into the Wisconsin Huddle. I'm Andrew Banstra, joined by Joe Thomas. And we've got still one more game to go. We mentioned that Joe has the NFL record for consecutive snaps taken, 10,363. So we're going to call this game 10,363 snap decisions, but we'll only ask you just 4 questions, not that many. The first one would be Packers or Browns? Who do you root for? And they played each other earlier this year.
They did, and I've got bragging rights for another 4 years here in the state because Browns are my team.
Okay.
That's where my bread is buttered.
How about this? You mentioned you never scored a touchdown in the NFL. Would you rather have a pancake block or score a touchdown?
I'd rather score a touchdown because that'd be pretty cool. I mean, I had a lot of pancake blocks.
Yeah.
So having something that I haven't had would have been pretty cool.
Good memories from the year gone by.
Coming up next at 5, we're learning more about the events that led to the planting of pipe bombs in the nation's capital, the eve of the January 6th riots. We'll tell you what new files revealed.
Plus, experts are calling it a loneliness epidemic. Who in America is experiencing feelings of isolation at the highest rates and the potential reasons why? Stay with us.
At 5.
We have some new details tonight about the man accused of placing 2 pipe bombs in D.C. on the eve of the January 6th riots. A court filing last night from the Justice Department says Brian Coyle admitted that he placed the pipe bombs. He also admitted to being near the Capitol earlier that day, protesting the 2020 election results. Cole told agents that he placed the bombs at night because he didn't want to kill people. Tomorrow, a judge will decide whether he'll remain in jail while his case is pending.
While hosting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today, President Trump warned Iran against reconstituting its nuclear program. It comes after the president insisted U.S. strikes earlier this year obliterated Tehran's nuclear capabilities. Now, Netanyahu's visit also comes at a crucial moment in Gaza. The president looking to create fresh momentum for the U.S.-brokered Israel-Hamas ceasefire that's in danger of stalling before reaching its second phase. Both sides have accused each other of violating the ceasefire. Israel continues to bombard Gaza, where more than 70,000 people have been killed since the war started.
Many post-holiday travelers are facing weather delays after thousands of flights were pushed back or canceled yesterday. A wide-ranging storm that Blaze has been talking about brought blizzard conditions, strong winds, and an ice storm. And the impact didn't end with travel. As of late this morning, more than 300,000 30,000 people, mostly in Michigan, were without power. And now what's left of that bomb cyclone we were talking about from the Midwest is barreling toward the East Coast.
Well, in health news, mental health experts are warning of a loneliness epidemic after a new study showed many Americans are struggling with feelings of isolation. Now, this data from AARP shows 40% of adults ages 45 and older struggle with loneliness. It found men tend to have the higher rates. Professionals attribute the loneliness epidemic to various factors, but specifically call out what's called a me versus we culture.
We're afraid to be vulnerable. We're afraid to ask for help. We think of it as a sign of weakness. Hyper-reliance, self-reliance, individualism at the expense of community is at the crux of it. Time management, attention management. We're living in the attention economy, right? So I think all of these things push us to figure it out yourself.
And loneliness is an even bigger health concern for seniors. Research shows social isolation significantly increases the risk of dementia, heart disease, depression, strokes, even premature death. AARP has information on dealing with social isolation on its website, which is aarp.org.
Stay with us. Blaze has a final check on the forecast when News 3 Now at 5 returns.
Who disarmed the gunman at the Bondi Beach massacre, speaks out for the first time in a CBS News exclusive. He describes the harrowing moments he sprang into action to save lives. And a 7'3" ex-basketball player who's working to become a Texas police officer, now getting a big assist from Shaquille O'Neal to pass the exam. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And then coming up at 6, what career experts are recommending people looking for new jobs do in the upcoming new year.
Before the world-famous ball drops to welcome in 2026, organizers are testing the colorful confetti that they're dropping into Times Square. Did that today in preparation for the spectacle that millions around the world will watch on New Year's Eve. And as in years past, visitors can go to the wishing wall to write their 2026 wishes on the confetti.
If we tested that here, that would be in the next county.
I was going to say, it might actually go all the way to New York.
It might. It might.
Yes, it is going to continue to be windy tonight. The snow will continue to wrap on up. We'll be left with mostly cloudy conditions to partly cloudy conditions overnight with more snow Tuesday and Wednesday.
We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6.